Hello, everyone. It's Thursday. It's 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the United States of America, and I'm Scott Welsh, and we're here for the Let's Talk About Robot Trading webinar, where, strangely enough, we sit and talk about robot trading. Sometimes, rumor has it, sometimes we talk about sports, specifically tennis. I can't make any promises, though, that we'll talk about tennis. Yeah, I can probably make a promise. We're going to talk about tennis today just a little bit, but we only talk about tennis in the way that it helps your trading. At least that's my goal. We've got the usual number of people here. If you're joining us live, please accept my apologies. I was just saying before I turned on the recording that I signed these webinars up for 3-4 month chunks at a time. And as I was traveling around the universe, the link ran out. So isn't that convenient? So I did send out a new link, but we've got almost the exact same number of people that are usually here for Thursdays. So the people who are truly important and industrious have found us, and that is fantastic. So welcome aboard. As always, I'll be sending out that link. That link should be good at least till the end of August. And if I remember properly, I'll just renew it, and you will never have to link on anything again. I might have made that promise before, though, so please don't call me a liar, because I don't like lying. Today we're going to talk about the pitfalls of going from testing to trading. There are a few. We're going to focus on a couple of big ones today. I think it's a valid question because I think it's a huge source of fear. People think, oh, I'm testing, but what's going to happen in real life? And everyone loves to tell you that nothing's going to work in real life, so I can see why there's fear. So I think from time to time we'll talk about it. I think it's an important subject. So that's what we're going to do today, if I can ever get the screen to switch. Now, the tennis portion of our program. The question is, why do I play better in practice? I have gotten this question so many times in the last 22 plus years. Not everyone, right? There are a lot of people, I'm sorry, a lot is wrong. A few people, students who play better in tournaments than they do in practice. So it does exist out there. Some people just like being in competition. But I can't tell you how many. Well, I can tell you, but I don't know the number. So many people have said, well, I play great in lessons. I play great in the clinics. I play great when you're around. Why is it when I go off on my own into tournaments that I am terrible, right? I've heard it so many times. Now, let me paint the picture for you. This particular person, boy or girl, man or woman, whether in a private lesson or in a group, 10, 20, 30 kids or more, whatever, they're playing and they dominate the group. Their strokes are perfect. Or in a lesson, every single thing I throw out, change this grip or follow through here or whatever it is, footwork here, they can do it and it just looks amazing. I've sat around with the pro staff and the groups that I run and said, can you believe so-and-so today? I mean, they just look awesome. Like, success is inevitable for that kid. That kid is so good. And then that person plays a tournament and calls me with results. I'm like, I'm terrible. And they lose to somebody who's ranked so low and is just so awful. And there's just this incredible disconnect between the person I see in practice and their tournament results that come out in live action, right? It's almost as if they're a totally different person. And guess what? There's a pretty good case to be made that they are a totally different person. So why? Why does this happen? Why is someone great in practice and terrible in tournaments? Well, I'll tell you. Thanks for asking. In tennis, the reason why is that there isn't anything to look forward to. Well, what do I mean? Well, maybe they've gotten to a certain point, right? Maybe they've reached a certain ranking level and they're really proud of that level. Their mom and their dad give them lots of credit. Their peers think that they're pretty good, right? Their peers at school walk around and say, oh, you're so-and-so and you're ranked this. And they get really, really used to that. In fact, their entire self-esteem is based on who they are right that second, walking around, and they're really excited about that, right? They're very, very happy with how people look at them. And thus, if they were to fail, even a little bit, right? Even if they take even a small loss in a small tournament that no one really even cares about, they will be judged as a lesser person, right? Or maybe their mom or their dad says, so-and-so, Tommy or Susie or whoever, those are my favorite example names. Wow, you're really good. If they take a loss, maybe mommy and daddy don't say, whoa, you're really good anymore. And as a result of, listen, I don't want to lose what I got. Didn't Rocky say that? I don't want to lose what I got. They don't want to lose this status, this approval, this love, this certain level of self-esteem. They don't want to put that at risk because they're really happy with where they're at. Notice none of this is forward-looking. None of it. It's all, how do I protect the person/reputation that I have right now? And that's extraordinarily hard to get over. And what happens? Well, what happens is that person then either completely gets paralyzed in tournaments, thus the crazy, terrible results over low-ranked people, because they're like, what if I lose? What if I, what if? And the what ifs just pile up so high they can barely lift a muscle. Or to avoid this judgment, to avoid this loss of love, to avoid this loss of self-esteem, they quit before they're fired. Or quit before they're fired. Meaning what? Meaning that whether they can actually acknowledge it in their own heads or not, they're not really trying. And that's a big one. Try walking up to a kid and telling them they're not really trying. They will fight you to the death. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Guess what? No, you're not. You're not trying. And when you get around it and you get all the fighting and the protestations off the table, they admit, yeah, I'm not really trying. Why? Because they can't be bad if they didn't even put forth an effort, right? I didn't lose. I didn't try. Get it? So whatever reputation, whatever self-esteem, whatever love that I think I have, I still have that because I didn't really try. And yes, I'm sabotaging, but I'm sabotaging with protection, sabotaging with a caveat. I lost, but I didn't try. Okay. However, that all is flipped on its head, utterly and totally forever, if we have forward goals. If you have forward goals, if I have forward goals, if we all have forward goals, we can't wait to try. We can't wait to get out there. We can't wait to fail, or at least to find out. Yeah, the failure is not fun, but we can't wait to find out, right? Great example that I've read over the years is the torpedo, right? What is a torpedo? You launch a torpedo at a sub or at a ship, and torpedo immediately gets in the water and then is constantly wrong, right? Do you realize this? It's, okay, go this way. Nope, go this way. Nope, go this way. Nope, go this way. Constant, by the second corrections. Fail, correct, until they hit the ship. And they do that all the way till they get to the target. Wow, what a metaphor. You can see why the powerful self-help teachers use that metaphor, because it's awesome. We pick a goal, a forward goal. Well, in this one, it's kind of a macabre example because we're blowing something up. But we're picking a forward goal, and what? Well, we don't get to that goal by sitting in the torpedo bay. We only get that goal, A, when we get into the water immediately, and then B, fail, correct, right? I know that feeling, and I know that's true because that's exactly how I felt. I grew up in a team sport environment, and I found tennis completely by accident. And I was just absolutely addicted because it's just me. All I have to do is beat that person, and if I beat every single person in front of me, I can do whatever I want in life. Wow, what freedom. All I have to do is win, and everything will take care of itself. And so I couldn't wait to get lessons, and I couldn't wait to get to instructions. And as soon as I got my first instruction, I'm like, I'm going to beat everyone with this instruction. Let's go find out. And I couldn't wait to get into tournaments, right? Now, we've all had our self-protection, and there are times where I did a few things, and then I got hurt, and it's like, I was this good, but I'm injured now. I don't really want to compete, A, because it hurts, and B, I kind of like where I was, and I'm not physically that person. So I understand both sides of this argument, right? But as far as trading, Well, we'll get to that in a second. But I'll throw this into your brain for the moment. Which one are you? Are you the one that's very happy with a certain system or past trading results? Or are you the type of trader that wants to go forward and get into the water and correct? But to tie a bow on our argument, in practice, we're all happy. We're all forward-looking, right? In that no-pressure environment of a lesson, teach me everything, I can do it, right? And that makes us happy because I'm going to learn this, and going forward, I'll have a new stroke, or I'll have a new trading system. I'll have something new, right? In practice, on paper, everything is forward-looking. But when the judgments come, when you have to report your results to your trading partner or to the public at large, right? We all tend to retreat, right? Who wants to say, I failed, look at me? Nobody, right? And that's the mental side. And that is the conundrum. And that is why we do better in practice than we do in real life. Now, let's talk specifically about trading. Like I said, when we're testing, me included, when we're testing a strategy, we're all forward-looking, right? I'm going to test, and guess what? When I do this system in real time, I'm going to make X million, right? I'm going to do this. I'm going to retire, right? All of us are forward-looking on paper. I am so excited, right? And I am totally empathetic because it's me, absolutely, still to this day. I absolutely project forward when I'm testing a robot, right? And when we are testing on paper, we see goals and we just want to get there, right? Everything is forward and it's so exciting. Why did you get into trading? Why are you here on a Thursday for me afternoon? Because it's so exciting to think about our forward life. Okay? Then we lose a trade. And guess what? All of that forward looking is replaced with, I'm stupid. I'm a loser. I should get a real job. Why am I dreaming this? Nobody succeeds. Everyone tells me I should do index funds. Backtesting doesn't work in real life. The system is broken, and on and on and on. Well, that's not forward looking, right? There is no future in we're stupid and nothing works, right? So what do? We bag it, right? Or we go into a mini depression, then we go back and test and we start the process all over again, right? This is the pitfall of trading. This is why we all fail, and this is why we fail on the tennis court or only play well in practice. But here's the thing. That tennis player in that lesson or that clinic actually is that good, right? It's not a lie. We say, well, in real life, the results are the truth. Well, results are truth, yes, but so is practice. That person is that good, right? Just because they don't do it doesn't mean that I didn't see it with my own eyes. It doesn't mean that that player isn't capable of that. And guess what? Again, when I unlock the shackles from that kid, guess what results come? Not the bad ones, the good ones. So ultimately, what's the truth? The goodness. The goodness is the truth. And I just pounded my desk when I said that lightly, okay? And at the same time, the trading system is that good. The system you tested by hand or with robots or whatever, it's that good. I said probably because I don't know how thoroughly you tested it, but I know how thoroughly I test stuff. And I'm telling you that the system that I tested was that good. A week or so ago, I just looked back at a system I made 5 years ago when I didn't know jack crap about anything. Is it holding up? Well, you saw the numbers, right? Maybe not to the extent. Maybe that's not something you're interested in trading, but how can you deny the profits? The average per month, what it could have done, right? It was awesome. You can go back and watch on my YouTube channel, watch that video or my website and my blog, right? So that system you back test, unless you just did a haphazard job, the system is that good. The problem is we see the present day judgments of, oh, this trade lost, therefore I'm a loser, it's broken, everything's bad. You stop looking forward and then what? There's nowhere to go. The judgments of the present day loss take away everything, right? So that's it. That's trading in a nutshell. Hi, I'm trading in a nutshell. There really isn't anything else to talk about ever again until we're past that, all right? But I have more to talk about today, but I'm just telling you, there is nothing else. If you find a system that works or buy a robot from someone else that has this data, and as long as they're not a complete shyster and didn't make up that data, all you have to do is get over this and be forward-looking, right? That doesn't mean accept losses that are way above the bounds, right? If you are told that the max loss is 10 trades in a row and it loses 17, that's a legitimate question. You don't stick your head in the ground and say, oh, I'm forward looking, right? That's a lie. However, if the maximum loss is 10 and you lose 3 and you say it's broken, what do you think, right? Do I need to answer that? If you are trading a system that you know can lose 2 or 3 months in a row on a month-end basis, and you have a losing month or a losing 4 weeks, guess what, right? Then the mental side comes into it. But absolutely, you should be asking questions about anything that goes beyond what you expect. And then you should fix it and move on and go forward. So once we're past that mental side, though, and again, there may not be any getting past that, right? That is the biggest obstacle. There are actually some pitfalls from going from testing to trading, right? We know the mental side of going from testing to trading, right? We can immediately sabotage, but there are some actual physical, tangible problems with going from testing to trading. One, we can't actually trade it. This seems ridiculous, but I've done this so many times, right? I have tested a bunch of systems in the past, since 2004? And robot systems since 2011-ish, 11, 12. I've tested so many systems that I actually couldn't do, right? So I've tested a system that trades between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m., for example, and it was awesome. And I tested the heck out of it, not a word. And it's awesome. And so I told Jill, I said, all I got to do is get up from 3 to 6 and trade it. Guess what? I can't get up between 3 and 6 and trade it. It's hard. It ruined the entire scope of my life, and it was ridiculous. I didn't like the way my life felt after just a short period. All right, well, I've done 6 to 10 a.m. I've had trading systems like that, and that didn't work out. It was not sustainable. All right, it can be too early. Maybe it's a late night system, right? Maybe you live in a different part of the world, and it ends up being the Asian session. Well, that's too late, or the London session, which is late for you, or whatever, right? Too late, too early, or maybe it's something that you need to be trading and your job interfered. Well, you'd get calls or emergency or clients and, oh, I need to take that trade. You find yourself, you can't take that trade, right? Or it's too taxing mentally to try to put all this together to get up and trade manually or whatever. Or it's too taxing mentally even to trade a robot, right? There are systems that look great, but you physically can't do them. And I'm speaking majority of trading systems for manual trading. However, it's the same thing for robots. You can't physically do it because your computer's not fast enough. You can't physically do it because your server isn't sitting next to the CBOE server or whatever it is, right? There are systems that say, if I trade it 1,000,000 times a day, I make money every day, right? Like my blog post yesterday. But you can't physically trade. You don't have the computing power. So on both ends, both physical and computing power physical, it's just not possible to trade every system, right? And again, along those lines, what about execution? We don't know. When we're testing something in practice, we don't know how high the spread's going to go. We can't simulate that. At 4 p.m. Eastern time or 5 p.m. Eastern time, we don't know what the spread's going to be. In our testing, it's 2, 3, 4, 5 pips. In real life, it could be 20 pips, right? That happened. I saw it with my own eyes the other day. Euro Aussie trade. It went up to a 20 pip spread right around that time. Well, that sucks, right? But we won't ever know that. And if that happens a lot, we have an execution problem. All these winners are not actually winners, right? So that's an execution problem. If we're trading around very busy times of the day, the actual testing may not be real life repeatable, right? And you get in that situation, like it says on the card, on paper, trades will be winners, but on the accounts, the trades will be losers. And if you get enough of those trades that you thought were winners on paper, but spread ate it alive, nothing's good is going to come of that system, right? So what do? Right? Don't ever bring me problems without bringing me solutions. A wise man once told me, and I live my life by it. So I'm not going to bring you problems without solutions. If it's a physical problem, we have a couple choices. We can just suck it up and get our butts to the computer and trade it, right? Do you have a manual system that and people have emailed me saying, I have a manual system that makes X amount per month, and I've been doing it for a while, to which I say, do that forever. That sounds awesome, right? But they say, well, but it's too hard or I'm exhausted or whatever. Okay, that's fine. You have a choice. Change your life so you can take all those trades, or throw it out. Don't worry about it. Don't argue about it. Make a lifestyle change, or just throw it out, because a system you can't trade is essentially worthless, right? What good is a system that can't be done? Okay. Now, if it's an in the market problem, like spreads gone wild, hopefully we don't watch these videos anymore. They're very, very debaucherous. Spreads gone wild. Just kidding, of course. Then we have a choice. We can say, if we get into a trade that has a big spread and therefore turns a winner on paper into a loser, we can say, well, this won't happen very often. Like, how many times does it really happen? Most of the day, the spreads stay calm. This won't happen very often. I can live with an odd trade here and there. It won't materially affect the results. How will you know that? We'll trade it. You'll find out how many trades. Is it once every month, once every couple months? If it's not that often, then it's not a problem at all. You just go on. Or you can just say, I'm just not taking trades when the spreads are too high. So if it happens to be that 5 p.m. Eastern time, then just turn your robot off. Don't take that, right? Just physically it takes 2 seconds to click it off if you're trading, or if you're manually trading, just don't trade at that time, right? Just click it off. Or build into your robot not to take it with spreads so high. And of course, I've talked about that, and I'm in the process of doing that with my robots now, right? To at least have that option. Now, think about this. If you start messing with spreads, I don't want trades on big spreads, which I totally understand and agree with. If you accept it, right, and just say, listen, spreads are fine. It's not going to happen. If you accept the fact that spreads are part of life, then you might take losers you don't have to, okay? That's just the way it goes. However, if you don't accept high spreads, there's a chance you might miss a slightly profitable trade. Yes, the spread expands from 2 pips to 7 pips. Well, you have a 15 pip target. That's still a profitable trade. It's not as profitable, but if you skip it due to high spreads, right, you've actually lost money. So you see, it's not an automatic solution. It's something that you as an individual trader need to think about a lot. If the spreads get large, you say, okay, I'm not taking any trade over 5 pips, right? 5 pip spread. I'm not taking any trades. Well, again, if you have a 15, 20 pip target, you were expecting 20 pips on paper, but you got 15. Well, that sucks. Okay, I'm not doing it. Well, now you have 0. Now you're down 15 pips. Instead of losing 5 pips, you're down 15. You follow me? Right? It comes down to a choice. If it's annoying and it's affecting your results, then don't trade when the spread is big. But you might be kicking out winners. You might be best served just staying put. Okay? Right. So I've kind of talked about them, but here they are on the card. So let's talk about them again. If you're a discretionary trader, just pay attention to the spread as the trade sets up. If you don't like it, don't take it. There's a solution. If you're a robot trader, you can put code into the robot that looks at the spread and then does it for you. If the spread is past X, I don't trade it, right? And as I hinted at, that's what I did. I've taken, the Hornet robot and built another version with a spread filter where you can just plug in and say, okay, if the spread's over this, don't take the trade, right? And I'm trading in one account, I'm trading the original version, and in the new or second account, I'm trading the new version. And when the Euro-Aussie trade I talked about took, one robot didn't take it and one did. And it turned out to be a loser because the spread was extraordinarily high, I think over 15 pips, I don't quite remember. But it was a winning trade that turned very slightly into a loser. However, one account didn't take it. So in that regard, building that code in would be fantastic, right? It saved me money. But again, I'm not convinced of this, and neither should you be. You might be cutting out losers or might be cutting out winners, right? Just because you're annoyed, you might be cutting out a smaller winner. So please, please, please think about that, okay? Now, here's where I talk only to the lifetime members, and I hate doing that, but if you're a lifetime member and you're ready for the new version, you think about it. I'm going to give you about 1 week to think about it. I'll have the new version ready for you to incorporate or at least consider by next week, by next Thursday, okay? And if you're not a lifetime member, I apologize, but what's wrong with you? Well, what's wrong with you is lifetime membership costs a lot of money, and I only take a small limited group of people, so I'm just kidding, of course. Just jokes, folks. It's just jokes. But I only have this actually built into day trading robots. I don't have it built into anything else. So like fair value, whatever, I do not have it built in. And when I'm working on the trend following, I do not have it built in that either. Just for day trading. Got it? Good. The bottom line is, if our real lives aren't as good as they are on paper, whether that's on the court or on the trading screen, then the main problem, the number one obstacle might be us. We stop getting forward-looking. We stop being willing to fail, correct, and we sabotage to save our self-esteem or save, embarrass, or avoid the pain, right? That might be the number one problem. It's amazing when I solve that problem with one of my students. It's amazing what happens. It's amazing to go from I can't do anything to I beat everyone. It's just the thrill of my life. It's just awesome. So I'm hoping that maybe it can happen to you if you suffer from that problem. But if it's not us, if we're willing to move on and be a forward thinker, then it might be something tangible, something we can fix, right? Something we can either force ourselves to trade, build a robot to trade a system, or if it's a spread type of thing, we can just build something in, right? So those are a couple of humongous things that make the difference from going from testing to trading. There are some others that we'll talk about over time, but those are two big ones. Let's see if we have any quick questions before I wrap it up. There isn't any audio. Oh, there is. I scrolled back too far. I love that name, Pip, by the way. Recording of these. Pip says, recording of the email, will it be emailed out? No, it will not. It'll be on my YouTube channel, though. Every Thursday webinar, Pip, that I've done since 1951 when you were born. Yeah, I haven't done it that long, but you know what I mean. It's on my YouTube channel. And all you have to do is, I think you can just do YouTube Scott Welsh Robot Webinar. Or I also put that YouTube channel on every single thing I send out. Every email, everything I send out, every blog post has that YouTube channel. All you have to do is click and then subscribe. So that's where you find all of it. I don't email it out, but you can go there and watch it. Or you can take notes too. I just saw the end of your question. Doug M says hello, hello. Stephen M, first time on the webinar. Excellent, Stephen. I hope something was worthwhile for you. Rong Z says, does this testing apply to discretionary too? Yes, and I think maybe you asked that in the middle of all my ranting and raving. But absolutely, I was a huge discretionary trader for years and years and years, so it applies to both. You test it in, and then you try to trade it live, and you get you get those obstacles of where I don't want to look forward, I don't want to fail. Stephen says, this is a very, very long metaphor. I tend to drag my metaphors, absolutely. Are you turning off the robots for the French election? I didn't last time there was a big movement over the weekend. I probably will this time, absolutely. Got it? All right, let's wrap it up with the latest updates. I've gotten a lot of feedback lately on the book. People have enjoyed it, so my book is on Amazon at $2, whatever. The Heron is done. I'm trading that. I'm trading it on this. I'm going to make this public probably next week. This is my FX book. It's been going since March 27th. Trade size way too low. I just doubled it today, and I'm going to go up more, but it's doing pretty much what it's supposed to be doing, right? It's growing. So there you go. Back to the slides. Trend following course, worked on it a bunch yesterday. I'm about 3/4 done. It's a recording. It's going to be the final step. So if you're interested in trend following, that course is coming soon. I'm also thinking of doing a Heron course and then including the robot in that. So that's also on the way. And I always love feedback on anything. Email me with anything, feedback on these webinars, stuff you'd like to cover, metaphors that are too long, whatever it is you want to comment on. I'm happy to hear it, and I'll email you back within 24 hours, almost always and forever. Speaking of YouTube, we're almost at 700 or right near that number, so that's great, and that's where all these videos are going. All right, everyone, that's all for this Thursday. Sorry about the new registration link. Hope to see you again next Thursday, and that's how you can reach me. If you're ever interested in opening up a robot account, that's my friend Justin Hertzberg, if you didn't know that. All right. See you next week, everyone. Bye for now.